So his idea was, they still were acquiring talent and obviously going into the draft. And so I was really curious for people listening, is there a player that you have focused in on in the draft that you think could make that kind of impact? And so a lot of people are jumping in, and I want to get y'all's take on this as well. From the 904, Dean, that's Nakobe Dean from Georgia, is the next Micah Parsons. From the 254, Kenyon Green from Texas A&M, and Chris Olave from the wide receiver from Ohio State. He's a burner and a flashy pick. And then I saw somebody with, this one makes a lot of sense, and this is in fact who CBS has the Cowboys taking. Tyler Linderbaum is the day one starter that changes everything. He cuts the defense in half and gets to the second level. It's not sexy, but it improves your run game. So Linderbaum, the center out of Iowa, is, a lot of people would say, hey, that's your best center, the only first-round center in this thing. You would replace Tyler Biadasz. That would, of course, be my assumption immediately.
Or Biadasz maybe competes for the guard spot.
Yeah. And he would be your starting center. And there are times that I wonder, how much different do we feel about this if you have a better run blocking offensive line? Now, I get it. The breakdown
or
of
a better
how
pass blocking offense.
Yeah,
but the run blocking is hugely important to the pass game too, though.
Now, the problems that come along with that for both sides, Corey, is that some people they'll still be throws that Dak makes that you're like, well, what the hell difference does it make? And there's still going to be a breakdown of the running backs that you're like, I don't even understand what we're doing. But having that option there because you've upgraded your offensive line at a time when a lot of people feel like they've downgraded their offensive line with the loss of Lyle Collins. Tyler Linderbaum makes a lot of sense to me. Kenyon Green makes a lot of sense as well. And then Nakobe Dean came up, and the reason why I wanted to highlight those three is I know you still got more than a month until the draft, or about a month until the draft, is Kenyon Green's at 23, Linderbaum's at 24 to the Cowboys, and Nakobe Dean is at 26. So these are three guys that are like all kind of right in that area of where you would draft. And then the wide receiver out of Ohio State, he's at 22. So like all of these players feel like they're in play.
All right, so when Treylon Burks' name gets thrown in, my immediate, to this question specifically is, how's he going to impact that fast? This is a guy that I think you can do a lot of different things with, but they want to force the ball to CeeDee Lamb this offseason. This is they want to CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup to be the two main guys, and they just added James Washington. They love Noah Brown. I don't think Treylon Burks is an immediate impact guy. I love the Kenyon Green and Linderbaum ideas, Kevin, because I do think that can make an immediate impact on a weakness that used to be your strength.
And you view Treylon Burks as like best case scenario, a third wide receiver guy.
Now,
start.
I think he can be later on. Sure. He can be more, but I mean, they are full for me in that position for that specific thing to make an impact immediately. For me, it's either Devontae Wyatt or Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis would be first for me. Devontae Wyatt would be next. Plug those guys in, have Micah roaming around behind them, and it'll give actually Van Der Esch some more space too to work with, and your defensive tackle area strong.
I know my buddy Jeff Kavanaugh would disagree. Do not take a wide receiver with your first round pick. Do not. There's no reason to. I don't care who drops there. First of all, Jerry Rice isn't in this draft, and neither is Jamar Chase. And they're not going to fall to 24 to you anyway.
Does it make you nervous at all that Jerry and Steven were like, hey, we have our plans, but you never know who's going to fall? Does that strike you in that category of uh-oh?
Maybe, but I could see where a CeeDee Lamb gets there, but you just took CeeDee Lamb. He's going into his third year. This is supposed to be your supreme number one. You just paid Michael Gallup a whole bunch of money. I think you can complement those guys, as Corey was talking about. Can we complement them better? Maybe so. Instead of it being Noah Brown and James Washington, you find somebody in your kind of maybe third through sixth round type of situation that you kind of like. But I think we've seen that Dak having Amari and having CD and having Michael Gallup did not improve this offense. When he's had a good running game with an offensive line that gives him time, that's when the Cowboys have been at their best. And so I would just think, I'm not saying you lock into offensive line, but you can lock into helping your defense, helping your offensive line. And I think that once you get to the third round, I don't even want to take a wide receiver in the second round. Once you get to the third round, if one falls into your lap,
deep, man. It's very
go ahead,
deep, yeah.
take one. I just look at wide receiver as we don't have, and I hate doing this because then people think I don't like Dak. Dak is a good quarterback, but I don't think having a trio of great wide receivers is what makes Dak at his best. It's having a complete type of team where, yeah, you can pass and yeah, you can run and yeah, you can kill the clock if you need to kill the clock. But if you're asking Dak to be one of those gunslinging guys, first of all, it's not in his mentality. He's been taught, and I'm not saying this is wrong, he's been taught by his mother, do not turn over the football. It's one of the worst things you can do. And he's talked about that quite a bit. And I know that sometimes they've tried to maybe teach a little bit of more being a little bit more risky. And he's tried it sometimes. And maybe we don't like when he tries it sometimes. Remember how many times at training camp he's throwing picks?
Yeah.
And people are like, he's threw 3 picks today. And it's like, yeah, because he's trying to see if he can actually throw the ball into these small windows.
What I wanted to ask y'all about, are you more concerned then about the interior line or somebody on the defensive side or somebody off the edge? Because George Karlaftis, the kid out of Purdue, is somebody that you've seen get mocked to the Cowboys more than a few times.
Awesome. Let's go.
Okay. Which would you
Let's
say all 3 of those for whatever reason.
So my thing has been that I haven't expected the right edge person to be available because I think I've had Karlaftis. I've seen him go a little higher. I've seen him exactly at the Cowboys on multiple different mocks. After watching him, I was like, oh, I get it. Like, this dude's strong. He's fast. He's got a lot of great qualities about him. And with the youth and addition of Dan Quinn, like, that could make him even better. Here's why, though. I listened to McCarthy this morning say, and this is why I've said the same thing about Micah not being just a defensive end. If as an offensive guy, you're making it easy on me by just putting Micah in one spot the entire game. And that's true. Because if that guy is here and there, and you're constantly going, where the F is this guy? Is he bringing pressure, or is he dropping back to defend a pass in the secondary? The hell's going on with him? And so if I do draft an edge guy, I don't have to worry about the Micah project anymore. I can still add him on there. It's just going to be in pass rush situations more often than not. But I also have the legs to let him go be Micah all over the field. So my whole key, if you're thinking, hey, we got to make our offense Dak friendly, we got to make the defense Micah friendly, which allows him to be in a lot of different places. Doesn't say that he can't rush. That's something that the guys that are like, no, he has to be an edge rusher.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying that he can't. I just want to use him at the opportune time to make him an edge rusher so that when he's out there, the quarterback goes, holy F, not only do I have these guys to deal with, but now he's probably coming at me. That's what I want out of my defense. So I'll take an edge to replace Randy Gregory that's younger, cheaper, probably more healthy, and allows Micah to be a better option.